Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is the 26th of June, 2024, and I am Gianni DePoce, your host. We had some big news in financial markets today. New home sales crashing, coming in significantly below estimates. We missed by over 11% compared to what the market was looking for, and naturally the question arises, is this the start of a real estate pullback? It is something, in fact, that's been discussed in the MMA monthly ETF report. We'll get to that in just a moment, but I do want to start off by reviewing the Dow Jones. Take a look at this chart here. We are seeing a pretty fair bid so far here on Wednesday. I still maintain that it's new all-time highs or bust for the Dow. We do still have a case of intermarket bearish divergence in effect because the NASDAQ and the S&P have made new all-time highs, but the Dow has not. And so we are now going into a key reversal date period, starting off with Saturn turning retrograde this Saturday on the 29th of June. And then a couple days later, Neptune will go retrograde on the 2nd of July, the same day that Venus forms a trine signature to Saturn. And so some of this real estate news is not all that surprising. Saturn's rulership over real estate, and I think it's leading to an awakening of reality, and perhaps the perceptions and the delusions under the domain of Neptune are being shed for a more realistic approach in what's happening in the economy. But as it pertains to the overall market, there could be some shifting expectations with respect to perception and reality as well. Again, it's going to be a really heavy period given the directional changes of those two planets. And Neptune, for that matter, is one of the most powerful planetary directional changes per our studies here at MMA. And, we've talked about this before, but I'll repeat it in case there are any new viewers. Neptune is considered to be a higher octave of Venus. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and so we know that Neptune is the god of the sea, rules the waves. Markets move in waves or cycles. They are not linear. So be on the lookout for a reversal of significance. And if we're making new highs into Neptune retrograde, a high of significance could be forming. I want to take a look at the interest rate on the 10-year Treasury yield. We saw a big jump today following that the new home sales report, perhaps some concerns arising on the real estate front. There is an uptake in foreclosures taking place. And so the stability of the real estate market is being questioned by many. And this could lead to a drop in interest rates from the Federal Reserve later this year. Now, remember that when the Fed lowers rates, it's on the short end of the curve. It's not really on the 10 or the 30-year bond, even though they tend to eventually follow what the Fed is doing. So on that note, let's go ahead and take a look at XHB, the home building ETF. This is covered in the monthly ETF report. And we've been raising the alarm on the home building sector for a few months now due to the lateness of its 4-year cycle. And there's a really key technical formation on this chart. It could be a rounding top formation, but of course you would have to break below this support zone as drawn by this lower horizontal trend line. Otherwise, this could end up just being a prolonged consolidation and the Fed to the rescue. But if not, we could see a rout of significance unfold in the home building market. And that usually is a leading indicator with respect to the existing home in the broader real estate market. I want to take a look at the healthcare sector as well, because some meaningful things happening. We know that Saturn is going through the sign of Pisces, and a lot of Saturn is going through a sign. We look for an intermediate term cycle low or more in the sector ruled by that sign. So Pisces rules healthcare, and I think there could be some, major upside potential. But to kind of take that a step further, I think the biotechnology sector does have some potential for a new bull market as well. And I think that has to do with the Jupiter square Saturn signature coming up starting in August. We've talked about this before. Gemini, which is the sign that Jupiter is in right now, rules research. And there seems to be a lot of new discoveries taking place. And Saturn rules authority in the sign of Pisces, healthcare. Could be some major FDA approvals that leads to a renewed market in the biotech sector. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on weeks and months. Take a look at USO, the energy ETF. Crude oil hanging out near its highs here. Evidence is building that it's in a new cycle, and with Neptune changing directions, be on the lookout for a reversal in this commodity in the coming weeks. Take a look at gold and silver. We are in the time band for a reversal. Silver showing a little bit more strength today. And that is noteworthy, as we could see a reversal back higher since we are selling off here. Neptune changing direction seems to have a pretty important impact on precious metals within a couple weeks of the directional change. And so we're in that time band now, since we're only about a week away from Neptune changing directions. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. We did get a bit of a rebound from that low on Monday. We're fading a little bit here so far on Wednesday. It could still go either way. There's some pretty important, there is an important technical zone between 60 and 62,000. We are trading in that zone right now. If you take a look at Ethereum, this is also consolidating its losses, leaving the door open for some potential downside, but it ultimately depends on the cyclical breakdown. We talk about that in greater depth in the weekly MMA cycles report. I do want to take a look at the US dollar against the Japanese yen, hitting its highest level in a multi-decade high here. The Bank of Japan is seemingly starting to panic. We outlined this in the Forecast 2024 book, and it may take the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates to kind of put a lid on this rally. Even the euro is exhibiting some weakness compared to the dollar, and we remain dollar bulls here at MMA, and we'll see how far this dollar rally can take us. So that takes care of what I wanted to cover with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and click the subscribe button. We have weekly updates and periodic guests. In terms of announcements, we have a webinar, an options webinar with MMTA student Derek Pranaya and Ray Merriman, hosted this Sunday. You can find out all the details at www.mmacycles.com. We do have the monthly addendum plus and the monthly grains report issued this week as well. The ETF report was issued last week. And of course, our big event of the year, the investment retreat in Lake Bled, Slovenia between September 19th and 22nd. We really hope to see you there. If you can't make it in person, there is a virtual viewing option as well, and it would all be recorded and available on Zoom. So whether you're present online or in person, we hope to see you there. And that's all for now. We'll see you same time, same place on the other half of Saturn Retrograde. Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone.